With that call, he seemed to think that that ball was within the reach of the batsman, and it was just the fact that Haynes let it go that swayed the umpire into judging it to be a wide. So there was movement there, the ball moving off the wicket.
Fair enough call, that's consistent enough. Both teams. Wild Imran steams in. Finally, bat onto ball. Ironical cheers from the big crowd who have started second. And if I was a batsman, I wouldn't be too happy with Imran worked up like this, because if he gets it right, he's going to be a difficult customer.
Yes, and there's a lot of pressure on the West Indian batsmen, because they know they have a target of 3.54 to score. And should this match be curtailed by any more rain, they have to be up with that run rate all the time. So they'll be keen to get off to a fairly brisk start.
And stares. Rex Whitehead, it was worth $1 million, that look. Not easy life being an umpire these days.
And I think Rex Whitehead was queried there by Imran, who probably said, well, what was the difference between that and the previous delivery that you called a wide? It was a very fine distinction.
It's no wicket for 4. Attempted Yorker, that's the over finally. 1 for 4. This match now is a 30-over match. The target set for the West Indian side is 107. And after the no wicket for 9. It's now a 30-over match. The target is 107.
An hour's play has been lost in this game. The umpire's making a readjustment to the over allocation of the sides, asking the West Indies to bat for 30 overs. Calculation is made on 12 overs per hour. There you see the West Indian target, 107 off the 30 overs they are required to bat at a run rate of 3.54. Rather strange in view of the fact that an hour has been lost. The match has been reduced to 30 overs rather than 38. And I think the reason for that reduction of the overs to 30 stems from perhaps a fear in the mind of the umpires that there could be further interruptions.
Umpire French officiating with Rex Whitehead. Good delivery and looking for 1. It's well run. A bit of movement off the seam for Sarfraz.
That was a fairly nasty delivery. I think it's hit Haynes on the hand. It certainly got up very quickly and very steeply. Hit that top hand on the bat. That Haynes taken completely by surprise. Haynes not happy about that blow to the finger. So far, just 2 runs to his credit off 14 deliveries.
Well, that just shows you how keen the Pakistan team is in the field. There's a ring of fieldsmen on the offside for Sarfraz. Greenwich was looking for 1, and they converged from everywhere.
Pakistan realising this is an absolutely vital game for their chances of getting into the Benson Hedges World Series Cup final. Anxiety written in all of their faces.
In the air, it's safe. And then giving chase. Sockers it back, well done. Imran Khan, what a competitor. Tremendous effort in the fast ball. A wonderful return Super cricket.
Great burst of applause.
No wicket for 12, and a change in the commentary team. It's Richie Benaud and Tony Greig.
Sweater there for Gordon Greenidge, and light rain is falling again. It's going to be one of those afternoons, I'm afraid, where the showers will come across. But it's very important, as far as West Indies are concerned, that they get a 15-over match at least, and then that they have their run rate up past the requirement in case it rains and washes out the game.
For that reason, it surprises me a little bit that Gordon Greenidge is wasting quite as much time as he is. I'm sure a little bit of a chill wouldn't do him too much harm. The thing that they want at the moment is a win. So he's wasted 2 or 3 minutes there.
Here's Sarfraz. And he's gone straight after putting on the sweater. And the first wicket down, and this is valuable for Pakistan.
Yes, and I suspect the sweater, looking back on it now after seeing that ball deflect off the inside edge and having seen that shot, I suspect the sweater was brought out accompanied by a message, which was probably, we've got to get on with it. And so that's the end of Gordon Greenidge. He's a very useful attacking player, and so Pakistanis will be happy seeing the back of him. 1 for 12.
Pakistan are handling this well at the moment. Vivian Richards is the new batsman, about to face Sarfraz. In the first 15 overs, West Indies need to score 54 runs. Overall, West Indies need 107 from 30 overs. But there is a game and a result if 15 overs have been received by both teams.
Just having another look at Greenidge's dismissal there, an inside edge onto the off stump. And that was quite a good ball too. It just came back a little bit. Good bowling by Sarfraz. And Greenidge having just put his sweater on, deciding then it was time to have a go. Vivian Richards hasn't got off the mark yet. He's got an average of 37 in the one-day competition with a top score of 72. And just the 150, so I think that tells a bit of a story. He's not had a great time by his standards, but still averages 37 this season in the one-day competition.
In the air, and he's under it down here. Imran Khan, and he's caught him. Richards for naught. Sarfraz, a bouncer to Richards, a trap. And Imran Khan has taken the catch. West Indies 2 for 12.
Well, Vivian Richards going for that pull shot, and it was a good bouncer too. And have a look at Imran Khan. He placed himself beautifully. There was never any doubt once he got himself underneath that ball that he was going to make the catch. And so Daddles the duck accompanies Vivian Richards off the ground. And what a tremendous start for the Pakistanis. Apart from the fact that they've taken 2 wickets, The way I see it is that it's taking more and more time, and there are plenty of clouds around. That one going high down to fine leg. Imran Khan was not right back, so he had to make some ground backwards, and he made no mistake. Bit of a top edge there from Vivian Richards. Beautifully taken by Imran Khan.
A little team meet. 2.1 the scoring rate so far. The West Indies need to score 3.54 all the way through their innings. 30 overs the match, 107 runs needed in all. Safely away. And 4 runs, and that's the sort of thing West Indies have to do. Suddenly there are a few problems out there for West Indies.
Yes, that was played well down to square leg, and clearly Desmond Haynes is very determined to be well placed when the first hurdle arrives. The first hurdle for both these teams is the 15 over mark. We have explained that we need to have bowled 15 overs in order to constitute a game, and at 15 overs, at the completion of 15 overs, the West Indians need to have 54 runs on the board in order to be in front of Pakistan.
There's Harold Joseph coming out, and Desmond Haynes asking what they need after 15 overs. Comes from Barbados, and I think I can lip read his accent pretty well there. 54 was what Harold Joseph told him. It's 15 overs, this is the 14th. The match can only be decided if the team batting second has faced 15 overs. It's the first requirement for a result. The West Indies have 30 as a maximum.
West Indies target 107 from the full 30 overs now. Run rate required 3.54. That's what it was at the start of the innings. Current run rate is 2.6. We need more than that 3.5 now. Single down to deep mid-on. A little strange, Tony, to see the attitude here of the West Indians. Don't think if they were in the finals and batting for a spot, they'd be out there now throwing the bat at everything. We can tend to play it in a normal manner. As for that message that came out to Desmond Haynes, he's been around long enough now to know what that target should be after 15 overs, and I find that a little difficult to work out.
Yes, but the thing is that so many of the West Indian players play in England, where the one-day matches are frequently interrupted by the weather, that I'm sure they would know what the tactics should be once they had been set the 107 from 30 overs. And I'm sure that some sort of thought went into it. Of course, the setback of the 2 early wickets did come into consideration. We'll be looking for a second here, but not coming for it. Salim Malik, the 12th man, the youngest man in the field at the age of 18, out there picking up.
Sarfraz working very hard out there. Normally at this stage of an innings would have been rested. Both of the prime strikers in that Pakistan bowling lineup can bowl a full 10 overs. And the problem's coming about shortly. The captain to rest one of them.
And that's India. Third man comes around. It's Mohsin takes the catch. Haynes is out. Mohsin bowls Sarfraz. For 13, the West Indies are 3 for 36.
A very good outfield catch by Mohsin Khan down in the deep. Desmond Haynes going for the big hit straight. Got a top edge. Went very high indeed, but Mohsin Khan summing it up nicely. Just going with it. Took it down on the haunches a little. A very safe pair of hands. So Desmond Haynes finds his way back to the pavilion as drinks come out. Of course, substitute Mohsin Khan bowled Sarfraz, his 3rd wicket for 13, and West Indies 3 for 35.
Imran comes off, 7 overs, 1 maiden, no wicket for 14, and Sikandar is on. There is no reduction to the quota of 10 overs which each bowler is allowed to bowl, despite the reduction in the number of overs in the innings, so that Javed can use his 3 strike bowlers all 10 overs.
West Indies, their target 107 from 30 overs. The run rate they need now is 4.43. Start of the match, they needed 3.56. So now they're running over more than what they did at the start of the innings. Bearing in mind 16 overs remaining, so once this over's bowled, we've got a real game on our hands. There must be a result in this match when this over's completed.
And that's dropped by Ashraf. Thick outside edge. Threw himself across. Should have taken the catch. Dropped it.
One player who's a real threat to Pakistan is Clive Lloyd. And Ashraf did go wide. An excellent effort. Would have been a magnificent catch if it had stuck. It was nearly a catch for first slip. Moved really well, Ashraf Ali. A little unlucky not to have taken it. Would have been one of the catches of the season if he had have grabbed it.
And it's through his hands. Slippery ball. And the West Indies just take the single there. Might well have been 2. Majid Khan out in the covers. Good firm hit by Gomes. Sliding through his grasp. That slippery ball. And the West Indies run a single.
And it also skidded very quickly off the turf. It wasn't an easy one for Majid to stop, but we've only got 107 runs on the board. Get everything piece of body behind it. So Javed not frightened to make a change with his field. He knows that Majid hasn't played a lot of cricket of late. Shifted him across to a less important position, that being just in mid-wicket there.
That's in the air, he's out. 4 point by Mudassar. Lloyd's gone. The West Indies in all sorts of strife at 4 for 38.
And great captaincy by Javed. He just shifted Majid Khan across from that very position, and there's no way known would Majid Khan have caught it. But Mudassar, a very good field, coming forward and just catching it 6 or 8 inches above the turf. So Clive Lloyd on his way back to the pavilion, caught Mudassar, bowled Sikandar for 1, and West Indies slumped to 4 for 38.
So the West Indies 4 for 39. Another 15 overs of this innings remaining. They need 107 to win this match, to ensure that they go through to the grand finals. 10 points they have. 2 matches after this, both against Australia. If they lose here, Pakistan go level with them, completing their 10 matches. And it would mean that Australia would have to win the final 2 matches against the West Indies to draw level, at which stage all the teams would then be level, and it would count on scoring rate. They'll be looking for a second here, but the running between the wickets hasn't been a feature so far. A little bit of hesitancy between the 2 batsmen.
West Indies target still 107 off 30 overs, but that run rate required hovering about 4.5 and over. The outfield a little slow now to restrict the scoring rate even more. Harry Gomes, a player, much a defence type player. Backus out of form, so not an easy task for the West Indies.
And that's gone. That will be 4, I think. No, Mohsin gets around. Good work by Mohsin, moving to his right, anticipating and cutting off what looked as if it might have been a boundary. As Taki said, the outfield is a little bit slow.
And this morning, Tony, that would have raced to the boundary. But you can see how quickly it pulls up. Gave Merson an easy opportunity to get around and just cut it off for 2. And that's going to be one of the problems that's going to be confronting the West Indies now. Run them very quick indeed. Pushing for singles. Single for Bacchus. Sarfraz into his 8th over. He's allowed to bowl 10 overs, as is Imran Khan and Sikandar. And those 3 bowlers can make up the 30 overs. 3 for 18, Big Sarfraz.
And the runs coming a little bit easier in this over for the West Indies. But they still have a lot to do. Gomes now moves into double figures. He's 11. Bacchus has got 3. It's 4 for 44.
No boundaries yet for Gomes. West Indies still got a trump card up their sleeve in Jeffrey Dujon. Hasn't batted yet, but shoulder injury. Injured finger too when he was keeping today, so might find it a little troublesome out there.
And that's over the top. Someone's coming under it, and that's dropped. Lucky break there for the West Indies. Ijaz coming around. Bacchus taking his life in his hands, going for the big one and being dropped.
Well, Sarfraz could have quite easily have had his 4th victim. Ijaz, one eye on the ball, and then just one eye, he just took it off fractionally, then looking at the fence. And that's when he lost it. It was up in the air, it held there for some time.
Reduction in the run rate in that last over. 10 runs came from it. That must be wide. Down the leg side. Got another wide from Sikandar. Pressure getting to him here. Tense situation. More tense, of course, for the Pakistanis and for the West Indies. Pakistan must win this match. The West Indies have a real cushion at the top of the table. What a terrible shot by Bacchus. Really was a bad miss by him, a swipe really.
That's the only thing, Tony, if he'd have connected, it would have gone right out of the ballpark. And that's the difference between missing it and picking it up. Only 2nd wicket for Sikandar. Batsman and bowler a little excited. Bacchus knowing that West Indies need 57 runs more for victory. Sikandar knowing we need 6 wickets, not 5. High power strike rate. Interesting to look at the man up at the top there. Hasn't been used yet. One may have thought that Javed would have given consideration to Madassa to have had a bowl. He leads the tyre power strike rate competition. But perhaps his medium paces would have been a little easier to have picked up by the West Indies batsman. He clearly leads that. Imran Khan, the other Pakistani bowler, in 3rd position. Pressure right on out there. Just the 4 men in picture. Bowler, 2 batsmen and keeper. Those 2 batsmen play a big part in this game. After them and Dujon. Down to the West Indies tail.
It's a fine shot, but he finds a fielder. Straight to margin.
It looks as though the rain just starting to come again too, Tony. Sprinkling coming out there, which is going to make it even more difficult for the West Indies.
In fact, at the rate which they need, this is the 17th over, and they would need to be 61 on the board to have reached the rate at the end of this over. And that's just out of reach. Gone over the top. Sarfaraz after it. Very close thing here, and he won't get it. 4 runs.
Well, Backus, one of the few West Indian players to come out with a real positive attitude. Drive off the back foot. Safe was in the air. There's no one deep out there. It skidded off. First bounce, but then was nearly pulling up. Perhaps a quicker man from Sarfaraz may have caught it just before it crashed into the fence. But he was prepared to improvise, prepared to take the chance, and it came off.
So the end of the over from Sikandar. West Indies are 4 for 54. Sikandar back. And a long delay here by the Pakistanis as they work out their field placing. And for continuation of commentary, Tony Gregg with Bill Laurie.
Thank you, Tony. And Javed Miandad doing pretty well there, waving his arms all over the place. The crowd giving a little bit of a going over because he's taking a little bit of time, and who could blame him? The situation is such that if they went off the ground right now, the Pakistanis would win this match. And he's in no hurry. It doesn't look like improving, the weather that is. That one played away on the offside. They'll be looking for 2. The fielder under pressure, and they're going. This could be close. He could be gone. No, he's not. That must have been very close. Umpire French was right down and magnificently placed, so he should be. He's the square leg umpire, but that must have been close.
Badly fielded. Under pressure. Great decision. Ashraf very slow removing those bails. A long time to gather and whip them off, and grounded his bat beautifully. Survives. It's 4 for 60.
It was great umpiring by umpire French. That one smashed away to square leg. There's someone down there. Mosin picking it up, and once again the West Indians turning, but not coming for the second. It really is all action out there at the moment, and the wicketkeeper there showing his boots to the umpire, saying that, look, I've got a problem. Perhaps I should be allowed to tidy my boots up. And if I was him, I would just do that.
I agree, Tony. Also, he's got to keep calm. He's running around in circles at the moment, Ashraf. He's the key player for the Pakistani side. He's going to gather the returns, calm down the fieldsman. He must remain cool and calm. Looks like a cat on a hot tin roof.
He's bowled it. What a great breakthrough. Larry Gomes trying to whip that one to square leg and missing a dead straight delivery. So Sikandar gets a back on the back from all his colleagues out there, and what a breakthrough it is.
Yes, it is, but on the other hand, it may be just what the West Indians needed, because Dujon comes to the crease now. He's been in great touch. Gomes struggled. It's good bowling. It's 5 for 61.
So Andy Roberts has been sent out to bat ahead of young Dujon. I suspect that might have something to do with Dujon's injury. He looked very uncomfortable when he was keeping wicket, and this is why he's out there.
It was a good delivery, hit middle stump. Forced Games to play across the line.
That was a good, solid shot there by Andy Roberts for a first ball. He's off the mark, and it was very well fielded too by Sarfraz at extra cover.
Yes, this will sort the men from the boys, and everybody's on their toes, all hepped up, and tremendous pressure also for the umpires. Not only the weather to worry about, but the decisions. And Backus is playing quite well. There's only 3 men inside the circle at the moment. Could be a no ball called here. The umpire's missed it, but he got that away. The 4. That was interesting. Java was out of the circle. The umpires didn't call no ball and hit it for 4 anyway.
It was an interesting shot and a good one too. Very effective down to the boundary. Jarvid actually, I think, Bill, just got himself inside in time. He realised very late what was happening and actually ran in and got himself just inside the circle. Would have been marginal, but the end result were being brought into the attack. Well, this is a very interesting move by Javed Miandad. And one of the things that you want to bear in mind is that Mudasser is top at the strike rate, which means that he's taken more wickets per 100 balls than anyone. 24.6 his strike rate, and that's a pretty tidy effort. He's only a medium pacer, and so I suppose it could be said that it would be easier to hit him than it would be to hit Imran Khan, or for that matter Sarfraz. There he is, right at the top of the tyre power strike rate, 24.6. That's a 24.6 balls per wicket, and that's the best in the competition. And the rain's still dripping down very slightly.
I don't think they'll come off now. It's just as steady before when Javed wanted to come off.
That one played away nicely. Sarfraz really making some ground there. I think that's the quickest I've seen him run all season. Pakistanis desperate to get themselves into the final, and there's one thing for sure. At this moment in time, there'll be 13 Australians sitting in their hotel rooms, very concerned about the state of affairs at the Gabba today.
Yes, well, Pakistan have to bowl them out, I feel. 5 for 69, 107 runs required.
It's in the air, and Sarfraz dives. He's got him. He's gone. Mudasser has done it again. A short ball from him, which one would have thought could have been dispatched, but Andy Roberts was a little surprised, and Sarfraz was equal to the task, diving forward and making the catch.
Yes, it was a bad ball, and Roberts was a bit late. The big man picked it up late and threw himself. A great effort by Sarfraz. Under pressure, a beauty. 6 for 69.
I wouldn't believe that a bowler of this pace could cause the problems he's causing.
Well, he's a bit of a Greg Chappell. He's not all that quick onto the bat. And you have to make the pace, and that one left him off the wicket.
Once again, beating the bat, and Javed Miandad coming in like lightning. So Dujon has a batting average of 17, which is not that impressive. He's had 7 matches, but only 3 innings there. 150. And he's nicked it, and it's going down fine, and will Imran cut it off? No, he hasn't. And so 4 runs there off a very fine edge. Imran doing his best to cut it off there with his boot, but unfortunately for Pakistan, the ball hitting the boundary.
It was very wide, and he just got to it. That's the type of shot that could win this match. Can't pace a field for mishits. Javed's been excellent with his field placings this afternoon. That one went fine for 4. Six for 74. The West Indies need 107 for victory. 30 overs to be bowled. So the run's not the problem, it's those wickets. 4 left. Main Pakistani bowler coming back into the attack. He's bowled 7 overs for 14 runs, and now he's bowling to Dujon from the members' end.
And that one beats him. Well, Imran could be the man to turn the tables. He's already played an interesting role in this particular match, coming to form with the bat. And there's really no need now for the West Indians to get too carried away. And while the Pakistanis will be very keen, I'm sure there are millions of people all around Australia willing them on, that is the West Indians, because we all want to see those Australians in the final. That's nicely played. I don't think there'll be more than one.
Yes, Tony, the West Indians really only need singles, but the problem is White isn't all that good. Imran's a great bowler. He bowled the Yorker first ball to Dujon, slow and full, and he missed it. So it's going to be a great test of nerves out there. Dujon in his first season. Bacchus is on 24. He's the key. He's been hitting well. Will we keep going after Imran? That's the question.
Well bowled, and a quick yes there by Bacchus. Just having a close look at Dujon out there. He looks to me to be in all sorts of agony. He's got a problem with his shoulder, and he also has a problem with his right wrist. And we saw that problem when he was keeping wicket. The ball kept bounding into his right hand, and he was winching a lot. And just looking at him out there, I've noticed that every now and again he's thrown his head in the air because of what looks like a bit of a stabbing pain in the shoulder. Well, that was beautifully played. Java just a little bit close there in his keenness to cut off the single, and as a result, the West Indians get 2.
Imran not tearing in. He's a bit concerned about that wet surface, and Jav really wants wickets now. He's probably worried about bowling an odd wide or two, but he's just coming in very gently to the crease. He's a bit stiff after his first spell of 7 overs, but now he really must bend that back.
Yes, Imran certainly just loping in and striving for accuracy, I think. And another single as Java dives to his right, but doesn't succeed in cutting it off. Just 1 ball to go in this over by Imran Khan. 79 runs on the board. 6 wickets down. And that means that were we to come off the ground, were the umpires to ask the West Indian batsmen whether they thought the light was too bad, the West Indians would win. So Imran again. Well bowled, beats the outside edge. Oh my goodness, that was close. It's the end of the over, 6-4-79.
Madassa after only 1 over when we leave by Secunda. Madassa 1 over, 1 for 6. What a time for Javed Miandad, a young skipper doing a great job for his team. He's making the changes. It's getting darker by the minute. The West Indians are up with the run rate required. 4 wickets in hand. Secunda.
And almost a mix-up, and that was very well played out there by Sikandar. Once he had let that ball go, he followed through right down the pitch in order to make sure that the 2 West Indians out there didn't cross. Have a look at this. The ball hits the pad and Sikandar doesn't stop going. And so Sikandar again. Went to Dujon, and that one allowed to go through to the keeper, and that was well played by young Dujon. Good thinking on his part. There is absolutely no necessity whatsoever at the moment for the West Indians to do anything silly.
No, there's not, Tony, but I think that was there to be hit. It was just an ordinary delivery, and I want to see one of these knocked over at this stage. It's going to be a great finish.
It's in the air and it's going away down to third man. It'll beat Majid down there. It's 4. That's a useful 4. And so the West Indians now beginning to get away from Pakistan.
Straying in length, and have been too short. Dujon off the back foot, smashed it through the gully region. That's the risk that Javed took when he took off Madassa. Man coming onto the bat a bit quicker.
One played straight to Javed. One really must take one's hat off to Javed Miandad. The task that faces the fielding captain in a limited overs match where the game has been restricted is an immense one. And Javed and his Pakistan team have done tremendously well to put the West Indians under the pressure that they have been under. And they're not out of it yet. I fielded it mid-off, bobbing around just a little bit. Sikandar getting just a little impatient.
I should think so. You don't want to misfield now, and the run's so important. The young man trying hard, just a fraction short. Dujon in good touch. Having a great summer. He's on strike on 13.
It's in the air, he's got him, he's gone, what a silly shot, my goodness, he's hit it straight back to him, and Sikandar once again he's put to the task, taking the catch.
What a super catch. Pressure's really on, they're all very difficult. He hit too soon, straight back to the big, tall, skinny fast bowler, and he throws it into the air, and it's 7 for 83.
That was the end of the over. Sylvester Clark is out there, but he's at the non-striker's end, and Bacchus has the strike. And he also himself an outside edge there. Sylvester Clark very clean for the 2 there, but Bacchus seems to have control of things, sending him back.
Sylvester Clark comes to the crease after the dismissal of Dujon by Sikandar. Return catch. Did it fairly well, but a bit early. And a happy bowler is Sikandar.
What a happy Sikandar. What a very relieved happy Sikandar. He's quite an excitable young man. Well, it's Imran now, bowling to Sylvester Clark. That was well played. And, just having a look at the comparison there, 22 overs. The West Indies had scored 83, and they only need to have scored 79. And the reason we're showing you that is because given that it started raining, or given that the light caused the umpires to come off the ground, the West Indies would win as long as they stay ahead of that Pakistan figure all the way. And after 23 overs they need to have 82, so they're all right. Well bowled, Imran. I suspect, Bill, the great chance here for Pakistan is to bowl the West Indians out. They shouldn't have too much trouble staying just in front of the required run rate.
Have to bowl them out. That's why that last wicket was so vital. It gives Imran a chance at the Rabbits. Sylvester Clark holding and Garner. Great fast bowler. Be aiming at the stumps. In fact, we see a big change in the field now by Javed. He's aware of the fact that he needs wickets. The slip's going in for Clark. Javed's going to point position. There's a cover, mid-off. So he's on the attack for wickets.
And that's good thinking by Javed Miandad. Very good thinking. Down the leg side. Imran whipping around there and having a quick glance at umpire Whitehead. He feared that that might well have been signalled wide. It wasn't.
Even trying too hard, I feel. He's running gently to the crease. He's angry with himself. He knows that if he knocks the stumps over, he'll have the great chance to win this game and go into the finals. He's had a great season with the ball. But now he's bowling at the bunnies in different light. This is his 9th over.
Have a look at those eyes. They get wider and wider as Imran gets closer, and that's in the air, but it's over the top of the infield. If they go quickly, they might get 2, but I don't think Sylvester Clarke is all that bothered. He's quite happy to settle for the single and to allow Backus, who's the senior player out there, to take charge. Might just be worth pointing out once again that there are 2 aspects that we need to follow in this game. One is what the score is at the end of each over, and we'll show you those. The other one is that this is now a 30-over match and the West Indians need 107 to win. It's a short ball and played away down to fine leg, and so Backus gets a single and keeps the strike. 7 for 86.
Backus is the key for the West Indies. He's 26 and has played very well. He's hit hard down the ground on several occasions. They only need 107 for victory. 7 overs remaining, so they should pace themselves. As long as this man can keep the strike and pick up the odd boundary and the singles, they'll win this match. It won't be Jarvis' fault if they do, because he's had a great summer.
Off the pad, there's a leg by there, and that brings Sylvester Clarke down on strike, and I think this is where the Pakistanis have their opportunity. Leg by signal. Sylvester Clarke, in fact, played a magnificent innings for Surrey against Glamorgan last June in the county championship in England. He scored 100 in 62 minutes, and so he's no slouch with the bat. In that innings he hit 7 sixes. Looks pretty serious out there, and he went for the big one there, and this could be close if it's thrown straight, but there's no one at the stumps. Well, the excitement.
Ashraf's throw wasn't all that good, but there was 3 Pakistani fieldsmen at the non-striker's end. He's yelling out, but he doesn't get behind the stumps. That's second-rate stuff by Sikandar. Should have been behind those stumps on that occasion.
To keep it that way. Their only problem is losing wickets. They've only got 3 more to lose. Backus has 26 off 31 balls. Sikandar, nice and worked up. Well bowled.
Backus, cool. Playing very sensibly. Just gliding it down to 3rd man. That's the 5th ball this over. 1 ball remaining for Sylvester Clarke to survive. Backus scoring at a good rate.
It's played away straight to Sarfraz, and it's 7 for 89. So the West Indies need 18 to win. The score 7 for 89. 36 balls to come, and They also have 89 by comparison with Pakistan's 86. So on all counts, they're looking good, as long as they don't lose a wicket. Imran, the bowler. And this is his last over, and a diving attempt there by Javed at backward point. Just the single. Well, this could be dangerous. Now 17 to win, and Imran is going to bowl to Sylvester Clark. And I suspect that's their big chance. I'd be surprised if he doesn't put another slip in there, because they really need the wicket. Might even be worth putting 2 in. Imran there signalling to him.
Yes, Imran, the experienced campaigner, calling for Majid. Across the first slip. Catching position for Sylvester Clark.
Can Imran do it? Down the leg side. Well, don't think that's his best chance. I think his best chance is around about off stump.
Imran straying in this spell. And very hard to be straight and pushing it across the right-hander. Having trouble with the footholds. Madassa comes across to pick up some sawdust to help the fast bowler in the popping crease. Imran just sweeping with the front foot there. Madassa aware of that. It's Whitehead officiating.
It's pretty dull out there, and Imran's bowling quite quickly. And he's nicked it, he's gone, he's out, caught behind, and so Imran producing that delivery just outside off stump, which finds the outside edge of Sylvester Clark's bat, and that's the end of him. The Pakistanis are ecstatic.
Oh, what a game. The line was just right. Clark had a go straight through to Ashraf, who made no mistake, and he's happy. And why not? A wicket at a vital time. 8 for 90.
Michael Holding's out there. Imran is bowling his last over. And he beats the outside edge, and all the Pakistanis go up. That was very close.
Imran must be at the stumps. Knock over Holding. We've got big Joel Garner to come. A cliffhanger. 2 balls remaining in this over for Imran. His last, his 10th over. That's the dismissal of Clark. Now it's Michael Holding and Javed Miandad bringing in the extra slip. And he's on the attack. That's the situation. 17 runs to win, 32 balls remaining, and Javed Miandad, who's been superb in the field today, bringing in the extra catching position of second slip.
Well, that's well bowled and well left. That occasion, Michael Holding played inside the line, I suspect.
I disagree with it. I think it was a bad ball on this occasion. I think it should have been up, but he certainly...
Chuckle block full, if that is the case. Well, there's the run comparison. Neck and neck, but I'm not too sure that that's going to count for too much, because the one that really matters is up at the top. They need 107, and they have 8 wickets down for 93. And they're just 4 overs remaining. Well played by Bacchus. The only problem is he's lost the strike again.
Yes, he has a lot of confidence in Michael Holding. There's an overthrow there, but well backed up by Majid. Interesting to see whether Javed brings in a slip for Holding, who's played and missed outside the line of the off stump repeatedly. Under the bowler, he replaces Imran. 8 for 94, and Majid's going into slip. Javed has not missed a trick today. He's put the West Indians under tremendous pressure.
13 runs to win. And Sikandar has been swapped around. Michael Holding on strike. That one nips back and well played. Michael Holding having to adjust very quickly there. And we can see the whites of his eyes. I don't think he's seeing it very well. It's not very light out there. It's quite dull.
Dull or not, he played that well. It was all jagged in from off to leg, and he was right behind the line of that delivery. Pushed it to mid-wicket. 13 runs for victory. 2 wickets in hand.
And Sikandar love a wicket. He's hit that high and it's going down. It's going to be 6. My goodness, what a huge hit. A magnificent hit. And have a look at the 2 batsmen down there. Backers throwing his arms around Michael Holding. What a shot in the circumstances.
Yes, a beauty. Picked it up. It was short. 7 to win now. He hit it right in the middle of the bat. Went well clear of the boundary. And that could be the thing that's broke the camel's back as far as Pakistan is concerned. A magnificent shot under pressure. Well inside the line, and it went a mile. Holding onto 7.
So 7 to win. 2 wickets in hand. Sikandar. He tries again, and that should so easily have been an inside edge onto the stumps. In fact, it was inside edge onto that bad knee of Michael Holding's, and he looks in trouble. Goodness, don't believe that there could be another retired hurt situation. You might remember that Michael Holding is going to have an operation just as soon as his cricket commitments are over here, but that was an inside edge onto the knee, and it's a good job that injured knee was in the way, because had it not been, it would have been onto the stumps, in which case it really would have been tense. But have a look at that. It could so easily have gone back onto the stumps.
Yes, he went for the big 6 again. 12th man's coming onto the ground. It's very dull. Tell him to keep it calm. He's gone up and told the non-striker to tell the striker to take it easy. Well, how's that for a message?
And what's more, Billy whispered it into his ear, and there wasn't anyone standing within 20 yards of him. Holding on strike again, and Sikandar on his way. Well bowled. Looking for one, and Backus might be stranded. Jarvid misses it. Jarvid would have had a shy at the stumps there for sure, and Sikandar wasn't back in time, and we could quite easily have had a run out, or even possibly overthrows.
His eye off the ball, was looking at the stumps, and Backus scampered back to the non-striker's end.
This is the last ball of Sikandar's over. Slower ball. Nicely good thinking there, and fielded by Madassa. 8 for 100.
Madassa replacing Sarfraz, who's bowled his 10 overs. 3 for 31. Madassa 1 over, 1 for 6. 7 runs required for victory, 2 wickets in hand. Comparison now, the West Indies in front again.
And Madassa, well played. That one nicely placed. They might get 2 for this. No, they're not. They're taking no chances, and that's good thinking. What a good throw.
Backus is cool as a cucumber. I've seen some silly run-outs this summer, but he summed up the situation. There was some danger. The fieldsman had the ball, and he sent Holding back, and rightly so. Backus onto 32, Holding 7.
6 to win. Once again, that ball nips back, and I suppose it's worth pointing out that Madassa out there at the moment is top of the strike rate. taken his wickets more frequently than anyone else in this competition this year, and well fielded by Sarfraz.
Well, regardless of who wins this afternoon, it's been a great effort from both teams. A lot of desperation by the Pakistanis in the field. Almost 30 overs to be bowled, and Sarfraz desperate.
They're going to take a run. Sarfraz shying at the stumps and missing. And there could be overthrows. There are, and listen to the cheer from the crowd. And Sarfraz shying at the stumps there. The ball going through the legs, I think, of the Pakistani wicketkeeper, and backed up by Sikandar. And so now 3 runs to win with 2 wickets in hand. Well played. That'll be 1. Don't believe they'll go for 2 here. No, they won't. So 2 runs to win now. And there's 1 ball to go in this over by Madassa. I suspect the crowd are going to rush onto this ground. That one beats the outside edge of this. He's gone. He's given out, and Michael Holding can't believe it. He's caught behind. Well, my goodness. 1 wicket in hand now. Holding caught behind off the bowling of Madassa. And so Joel Garner now must come out with just 2 runs to win.
Running all in the face. Madassa strikes again. Just medium pace, a little bit of movement off the seam away towards the slips, helped on by Holding. Delighted Ashraf, and the 9th wicket is down for 105.
Well, you couldn't ask for a more exciting finish. Joel Garner, bless his soul, I don't envy the situation he finds himself in, having to come out on the ground with just 2 runs to win.
Not only that, though, it's the end of the over. Pressure now for the Pakistani bowlers, because Backus is on strike. He's on 35. He's the key, and he has been for the last half hour. Top scorer. He's as cool as you like. Who's going to bowl? Sikandar to bowl the final over. Probably will be the final over. 2 overs required. Javed at cover, talking to his fieldsman, getting Sarfraz to move to a position of cover. They're having a discussion. Javed sending Sarfraz, the big man, over to square leg. So the young fast bowler who bowled a Backus on 35, and what a finish. 1 wicket in hand.
Well, they need 2 runs. They have 12 balls, and Pakistan need a wicket. And if they get 1, it's all over. Well played by Backus. The tension is unreal out there, and Backus really has played his hand very well. He has the strike. Joel Garner down the other end. I don't think really will want to have to front up at any stage. He hasn't exactly gone white, but I can tell you he's nervous.
He hasn't scored many runs of late either, so he's relying on this man who's played very well.
Sikandar. Bowled, and there's a single, and I tell you, Joel Garner's going to have to face. So Sikandar's the bowler, and Joel Garner on strike. 1 run to win, 9 wickets down. This has been an unbelievable game of cricket. Well, apart from the fact that Joel Garner hasn't been in great form just lately, the light is not very good, and Javed Miandad is going to have his fieldsmen all gathered around. At the moment, he hasn't brought the fine leg up yet. Yes, he has. He's signalling for him to come up. So, just having a look at the field, they're all gathered around to save the one. Big Bird Garner is on strike. What is going to happen? Oh, and that one hits him on the arm, I think it was. Well, there's plenty of arm to hit there, and that's the Joel Garner out there flexing those muscles. Is it possible, Bill, that he could go for the big one?
Well, if he does, Backus will wrap the bat around his head. He just has to survive. There's now 2 slips and a gully, trying to bowl him out, and Javed Miandad bringing all his men up in catching positions. He's going to a silly point. 3 slips, a silly point.
It's a short ball in the air. Oh, it's just missed. Oh, look at the Pakistani faces out there.
Well, it's a little bit unfortunate, but Java didn't go the full hog. He came in himself, but he left point deep. See Jazz, and it popped up. And you see there, point just a fraction deep, desperate to get forward. Bounced 4 metres in front of him. So it's 2 slips and a gully now.
It's got to be a great temptation to hit this thing straight out of the ground. It's a full toss and it's gone. They've won. The crowd flock onto the ground. What a great victory to the West Indies. But my goodness, take your head off to the Pakistanis too. They made them fight for every single run they got. And this, more than anything, is tremendous news for the Australians. The West Indians have won in a magnificent limited overs game of cricket. The crowd on the ground and Joel Garner, the hero for the moment.
Yes, but it was Backus that finally got them there. He played very well, and that last delivery was a slow Yorker that was too full, and Garner picked it up about leg stump and whipped it over square leg for 4 runs. Just at a time when young Secunda need to be just on a good length. He cracked under pressure, went for the Yorker, wasn't there, and Joel Garner put it away. So the West Indies win and the Pakistanis go down, but what a great fight. The highest scorer was Backus, not out 36, a match-winning innings, superb control under pressure. Well supported in the end by Michael Holden. We'll never forget that 6. Just when they needed one, he put one right over square leg. So the West Indies fall in, and it's 9 for 107. A tremendous finish to a wonderful game. They needed 107 runs off 30 overs. They got there with just 1 wicket in hand. Garner not out 1. Backus not out 36. Some superb bowling by the Pakistanis. Their bowlers did everything you could ask of them under pressure. Sarfraz, 10 overs, 3 for 31. Secunda, 6.5, 3 for 32. Imran, 10, 1 for 23. And Madassa, the main striker, winning the strike rate to date. 2 overs, no